So I finally got the second StellaPro light in. So today I'm going to use two of these. And, you know, I love playing with lights, period. But playing with lights and or using them for a job professionally are two different things. Now I think, LEDs, especially if you're a hybrid shooter, have their place and can definitely be beneficial. For me, most of my shoots, it's so much easier to use a strobe than the LEDs in most cases, but there are some cases where I love having the flexibility of the LED. The flash power of these, it does go up from the LED, but I think this little flash will probably still put out more light than one of these. And, it's just, flash is powerful. These, they're in their infancy, I would say that. Do I think they have the ability to go up there? I'm sure they do. Everything's and anything's possible. Now with these Stellas, you get this power from these lenses. This is the spot Frenzel, and I'm going to use this today. I'm going to try to use it today. I'm going to try to use the soft box with the with the adapter for ProPhoto. They do have one for Bones too, but I'm not going to blow smoke up your ass about LEDs. There's a link I'm going to put below because these are 40% off for Black Friday sale, which honestly is incredible. I know there's other LEDs out there that are very popular that do the colors and so forth, but at 40% off, these are a steal, honestly, because I would purchase them at 40% off, no ifs, ands, or buts, because they put out, and I purchased these. These aren't a gift, so I'm not, like I said, I won't blow smoke up your ass about something I use. For someone getting into flash or wanting that hybrid kind of thing, I love these. I like the form factor. I like the way they connect to the stand. I don't like the bigger LEDs because they're just cumbersome to me. And if I'm going on location and so forth, it's just too cumbersome. These are, they're not perfect by any means. They do have to come up with better ways to connect and connect the mounting, so forth. And I said that in my last video. But you can do some really great things with these. And for me, I have to get over the fact that, I want to shoot at ISO 64 or my base ISO all the time. It's just a mental thing for me. And I know you can be creative and create some beautiful images at 400 and 800 ISO and above. But, that's my mental block. But today I'm going to get rid of that mental block and use these and see what I can do with them. Keep them a little bit lower power rather than going the 6,000 or 9,000 lumens that they're capable of. And dial them back a little bit and pump up my ISO and see what kind of creative crap I can do, honestly. But, that all being said, before I make, my final decision on hey, get these, I'm going to shoot with two of them today because, the shoot I did with one, I loved it. I thought it was great. The flash power is just underwhelming for me, but it does work. That's, point blank. And I know there's a bunch of videos with all different LEDs that are, everything looks spectacular. They're all shot at night, so that you're not competing with sun or anything else. And they all use, many, many units, which nobody can afford, let's be honest. When you have units that are $1,500, $1,600, $1,700 and higher, and they're showing them to you with 10 of them, who's going to go out and spend $16,000 or $17,000 or more, to get that kind of look? So realistic, 2 units. Most people can afford 2 units, and 3 units is sometimes a stretch. But if these have flash, like I don't see myself carrying these around with a camera for a flash. If I did have an assistant for an event, I would consider it. I would have the assistant carry these and just know that I can have a LED or a strobe at any time that I need it. Because events, I don't mind shooting at higher ISOs on events, and this is Okay, so this is a prime example. This just fell off, you know, and if I wasn't holding this, it would have hit the ground. Like, they need to fix this kind of stuff because, you know, to have this just fall off without locking in kind of drives me crazy. And it just won't click in. So, up there it finally clicked in. So when you use these, make sure you get that click because it just came apart. Anyway, I'm going to do the shoot. Enjoy the shoot. If you have any questions, leave them below. But I'm going to actually come back after the shoot and give you my final thoughts on these and what I think. But like I said, for the one shoot that I did with him with the one light, I was impressed, and I was impressed enough to buy a second one. So let's see how we do with two and see if they're for you. You know, like, I'll give you my opinions, obviously, and you know, but these may be perfect for someone that needs them. You know, what more can I say than that? Anyway, enjoy the shoot. Okay, so I had to try this because I want to see what this light is actually doing as far as, you know, power. My first couple of shots, it's not even registering. It's not even setting the flash off, or it's not receiving any kind of flash power. So let's try it a little closer. Yeah, still nothing. Okay, so if I'm right here, at ISO 64, 1/25th of a second, I'm at 1.4 with flash. So I'll switch this over to ambient, and let's take a reading then. Turn this all the way up to 6,000 lumen. Okay, I'll hold this at the same spot. So, oh, I'm at 250th here, hold on. So at 1/25th, I'm at 1.4. If I pull it back a little bit, I'm at F1, but I'm basically at 1.4 at 1/25th. So I'm not getting a boost. 1/25th, 1.4. So my first time out with the reflex lights was just a single light, and I didn't mind it. I was actually, you know, it was kind of fun. But this time I decided to close the shade in the studio because I didn't want any outside light, and I wanted to throw these up on full power to see what you can actually get out of them. You know, because you know, a lot of people are going to want to use these at full power all the time. I want to see how long they lasted for the shoot, how they did in the softbox, you know, how it was with two lights. And, you know, the first thing I noticed was these are not for someone just getting into lighting, because they will be frustrating and very difficult to achieve good lighting with these lights. A Frenzel spot, and I use them because I needed the power. This I'm adding the soft dome to it just as a fill light and using the Frenzel spot as the main light. But you really have to be pretty decent with lighting prior to getting these. I don't know how else to put it, you know, because they are, you know, they're a spotlight. You know, if you would a flashlight, you know, with fancy features. And I did, you know, test these in the beginning, like I said, with the boost, with the strobe or the burst mode or whatever they want to call it. I wasn't getting that much of a boost. I'm sure there was a little bit there, but honestly, it just didn't show on the light meter. So, you know, that being said, real world usage, I didn't get a boost. The other thing is, you know, because they're frontal spot, like the person has to have perfect skin to use hard light like this. So that's the other issue. Unless you don't mind spending a lot of time in post processing, that could be a problem. So color shifts. I did get some color shifts, or it was, I wouldn't say shifts. I would say it was harder to post process these than a strobe because of the color. You know, my color was leaning, you know, rather heavily on greenish yellowish shades, and I did shoot a gray card so I could just click to adjust, which helped quite a bit. But the next thing is this, the firmware update. I tried to firmware update the new one. I couldn't do it because it said the serial number didn't exist, and I'm waiting for them to get back to me on fixing that, but I haven't heard back yet. So I'm trying to be positive, you know, because these lights are 40% off, and they give me a code for the 40% off, and I make 20% on them, which is great. But you know, if you ask me straight out, hey, would you recommend these lights? I would say if you have a specific use for them, yes, I'll recommend them. Or if you are confident with your lighting skills, I would say yes. Otherwise, I would say absolutely no. I don't even know how else to put it. You know, I did watch some videos on these of their ambassadors using them. And, you know, these people get the lights for free. I didn't. I paid for them. So, you know, obviously they're going to say good things about them. And there are good things about them. But, you know, I'm not going to recommend them to anybody that's not good or has a specific use for them. Because they are very difficult to use in lower ISOs at full power. And like I said in the beginning, I swore I was going to use higher ISOs and use them in that way, but I just thought it would be unfair to review something where I'm using higher ISOs and, you know, have someone. I, I'm trying to be nice. That's all I can say. So I threw in an umbrella here. I wanted to see how it looked with the umbrella. And, you know, with video, you know, everything looks great. And I noticed with a bunch of reviewers of LED lights, you know, here's the color shifting. This one versus the next one, you'll see it's pretty enormous. Anyway, and I'm down to one light here because the other light burned out. I got about 27 minutes and 38 seconds out of it, and then it was just dead. And that was shutting them off in between outfit changes. But there's the color shift. So if you're good with lighting, if you're great with lighting, and you have a specific use for these, or you're going to shoot all black and white, these are a nice little light. Otherwise, I would pass. Go with strobe or... Anyway, that's it for today.